what do you make of our participation and achievements in the Olympics this year? I mean Tokyo 2020.
Well, yeah, thank you, Nani. I think it's like I said, yes, it's my first Olympics, and it's a good thing to see personally for me, and it's a good experience as well. Yeah, so I came in a few days ago. The athletes have been here a little while ago, and also the opening and everything. But I came in right when Gina was starting, and I've witnessed the runs that she did, of course, with Ibrahim as well. I've missed the other ones. That's Badjie and Buaro. But the important thing is that I was able to see them and before, especially before Gina started her run, and have a word an interaction with them, kind of like you said, encourage them, but also get to see all the games and meet up with some of the officials around here, that is both the IOC and ANOCA and others, but also relate or interact with some of the ministers, that who are here.
This is, the second Olympics that we see an athlete go consecutively. Talking about Gina, the focus, the entire Gambia was focused on her, dating back from her last appearance to this one. From your own point of view, what do you think, we can do as a country, as people responsible for sports to support these, athletes so that, we can compete for the finals and if not for the medals?
Well, I think mainly is to invest in the athletes, because the what we saw here is a huge improvement on the side of Gina. On one part, we have where she had her personal best, and in one of her runs also is the national record for the Gambia. And what that means is, she's improving a lot, and you can see the impact that her training in Senegal have made, and also the opportunity that she has to go to France to do her final training before coming over to the Olympics. But if we're able to take her away from Senegal or somewhere else and take her to a more advanced training center with better coaches, of course, with respect to the current coach of her, what we can see is she'll be able to improve more and possibly be able to win the medals in the upcoming games, the Commonwealth, the All Africa Games, and eventually the Olympics coming up in the next 3 years. That's something that we have already started working on even before coming here. And also just yesterday, we had a meeting to discuss that same issue and the possibility of trying to find her a place where she can go.
Well, it's like I can say, with just that answer, Clasley tells me that you're up there with what is going on in the Gambia. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Of course, I follow the social media suggestions that people have sent in, but I think it's just common sense that we are supposed to know that athletes in general need good training. When they have better training, they perform. Those that are winning the bronze and the medals, the silver, the bronze, and the gold, they're not better than her, at least from all indications. There are some instances where she has beat one of the one that is getting to the final tomorrow. But the difference is that, and they were all in the same training camp in Senegal, but that one had a better opportunity and moved out of that camp. So if we're able to do the same thing for Gina, I think it will be better. Of course, one thing I don't agree with is the comparisons that people try to put out there. The conditions are different. Of course, that specific athlete, for instance, has been on the track way before Gina. And, the conditions are different. Gambia and, for instance, Ivory Coast and others, in terms of resources and everything, also very different. But we will do our part, not just for Gina, but for Ibrahima, Kamara, for Buaro, and any other young athlete that is in the Gambia that wants to focus on field and track and field, and any other game of the Olympics. We'll try to see what we can do. And like I said, already efforts are on the way to try to see how best we can give them better opportunities to compete, and not just compete. But
the athletes were so commendable. Both Gina, Ibrahima, and the athletes that are back home here commended you through the government, for providing them that amount that they describe as having for the first time in the history of athletics, and of course, I'm sure they'll be expecting more. But the amount given to them to go to Tokyo was really, welcoming by these athletes. You think if such continues and more is given, we can have more better performance, because the encouragement is very important, particularly finance-wise.
Oh no, yeah, of course I agree. It's sports in general. It's about incentive. It's not the main thing, but it also helps in terms of boosting the morals. But for us as a country, and like I said, we will try to do our part. It's not that because others are water athletes, they are not on a fixed salary, and of course when they go out, you pay them what you're supposed to give them. But we also believe that in addition to that, we also needed to provide some little incentive for them, just to also, like we're doing with football, try to do the same thing with other disciplines as well. So yeah, so that's the reason why we had to bring in that amount after taking care of other tickets and other stuff. But we thought that it was important to give them that extra amount of 600,000 that they shared. Of course, not equally, but depending on where the person's stage is in the country. And I met them, and that's the first thing that they said, that they appreciate that amount. And I said, well, it's actually, national resources that has been invested on people that are doing.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for your time. Well, Gina said in an interview last time out, a few years ago to the BBC, that she accepts to, when they call her the poor Olympian, because she doesn't have a car or, doesn't have a house. She joins public transport to go for training when she's in the Gambia. I hope you'll have to phone HE and say, what, let's get a house and a car. She should no more be called the poor Olympian after their achievements in Tokyo.
No. Yeah, I agree. I've said this in an interview a month ago before. The unfortunate thing is the understanding of some of the Gambians about how athletes are made rich. And even just yesterday, I had to respond to somebody. I don't do that frequently, but sometimes I think it's important to let people know. Respond to somebody that there is no athlete, at least that we know of in the world, who is made rich by his government or her government. Athletes would normally go and compete, and when they win medals, it comes along with cash prize or cash prizes, depending on the level of the competition. And then when they come home, they eventually will get endorsement deals from companies. Companies will sign them up, and they serve as ambassadors for those companies and appear on their billboards, on some of their branding, and they get paid for those things. And that is what athletes will normally use, just like musicians, will normally use to buy a house, buy whatever they want to do, and kind of live a life that commensurates with their status as celebrities or athletes. And I saw you, Nani, mentioned that or made a post about that exactly. That is what we are missing in the country. So I want people to understand that in as much as government will do its part, and we will definitely do something, but it is not, within that confinement that we have to make give a house or give a compound on another. No, that's not what happened. So Talu, that people are comparing, even some the online tabloids are saying comparing. I mean, that understanding has to be there. Talu, for instance, has been on there for a long time. She has win medals to get home. But you look at some of these companies in our country, they give our endorsement deals. The same thing we have with Nigeria and athletes in Jamaica and others. As big as signing contract deals with Adidas or Nike or any of those ones. So our companies in the Gambia also should come up and support our sports. It's not just good to wait until when they get there, you just make a banner and put their picture without their approval and use it as congratulatory messages. But they also need to support them, and that way they can be able to make it up. And at least, not promoting anybody, but at least I've seen Africa, for instance, do that with some of the musicians. Now, if Africa can do that with the musicians, you encourage them to do the same thing with the athletes or with any of the sport people out there, and that also helps them. So yes, government will do our part, but we are also calling on the companies in the Gambia to do what other companies in other countries are doing by signing endorsement deals with some of these people, so that they can also be able to live their
Okay.
living.
Okay.
But government gave Gina a land the other time, and yes, this is just a simple land. How do we build it? Maybe that's the question. Can we give her a car? I'm not very sure, but we'll try to see as a government what we can do. That's something that myself, the minister,
I'm sure definitely you can give her a car. In fact, more than one car. Cars are not your problems. Go to TAF or Global Properties and get her one already built house. But Honorable, thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure talking to you. And yeah, we've learned a lot from Tokyo. And I hope, as the athletes say, we can have more than 10 athletes in Tokyo, in France 2024. And it's all been, the GNOC and the OIC, and I hope now after this performance, the government will fully chip in, to support them and support more athletes. We need more athletes at the training camps, not in Senegal, because we have seen it. It's not the solution right now. We need to be in the Americas, in the Jamaicas, in order to compete for the gold medals. You agree?
No, of course, yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, it's more about the standards. Maybe some can still go to Senegal, but somebody who have reached the level of Gina will definitely need a more advanced place to go. But yes, we can still use it as Senegal for some of our upcoming ones as well. But yeah, Gina, Ibrahima, they need to find somewhere which is better. And like I said, I don't want to make promises, but we're already looking into those possibilities. And I'm sure by the time we come home and in a month or two, we're able to specifically say exactly what we're going to do.